Mind of a man. Today, I am your host, Tobie Famusipe. My co-host James Jones cannot be here today, unforeseen circumstances. But hey, the show must go on, as they say, right? So we are here today, ladies and gentlemen. I have the honor to have on the show today Money, actor, actress, award winning actress, film director, producer, media mogul, the whole nine yards. Monei Sutton. Money, welcome to the show today. Welcome to the show. We're honored to have you on the show. Apologies for everything that happened earlier, technical difficulties, but we got it up and running right now. So I'm excited. And today's topic is very simple: how to nurture and protect your relationship. The relationships could be anything. It could be husband wife, it could be wife and wife, husband husband, friends friends. It could be any of those. So today we're going to start off with money, and of course, no one knows how to introduce themselves or talk about themselves more than the individual themselves. So I'm going to get the court. I'm going to get the floor to Money to start off, and Money, tell us about yourself and what do you do, how do you do, and the whole nine yards.
Well, thank you so much, fiance. My name is Monei Sutton. I'm really happy to be here today. And yeah, I'm super excited. I have been in the industry for a minute right now. I've been in there for probably a little bit, 7 years on and off, as an actress, as a host. I pretty much started out as a plus size model and working with world stars. So right now, I'm just doing acting and doing a couple other things right now. So I'm super excited to be here. And thank you so much, you and Courtney and James, for having me today.
Yeah, awesome to have you here. So let's start off because we're going to go to different realms of relationships before we get into the personal aspect of relationships. Tell us about the how the relationships in industries. How do you balance it? How do you know when to make a move on a relationship or when not to make a move? How do you balance everything out? And how has it helped you get to where you are today?
Balancing a relationship and business, for me, has been very easy because it's only one simple thing. Everybody need to mind their business. And pretty much, the people who you are doing business with, you don't have to have a personal relationship yet with. So, of course, most people know that I am engaged to this handsome guy right here, Mr. Tobie from Mississippi. And I've learned how to balance our relationship by just pretty much keeping the industry and our relationship separate. Um, I tell people all the time, if you've never been to my house, you're not that close with my friends. So I try not to get business and personal life misconstrued in any kind of way. And it has helped me in a lot of ways. I think it's saved a lot of relationships, and it's helped definitely saved our relationship.
Okay. Okay. Courtney, I'm going to put you out there at some point. I know you got questions, so you can't run. Everyone, I'm talking to my producer out there. Me and my producer, we have to hold it down for James since he's not here today. So tell us about can you give us examples of relationships that you've been in and you realize, you know what, this is not for me? What are the certain triggers that brings that up? Like, you know what, this ain't gonna work. Do you have examples and stuff that you can share with everyone so people, our viewers, can know, like, you know what, Money's right. I'm not gonna do that.
Um, oh, oh, um, I would definitely say dating a half Nigerian and half American is like was a challenge. And I've dated a lot of people. But it was a challenge, but I was in for the long run, and I think it's about when you're knowing that you're ready, as a mature woman, I knew that I was ready. And I don't think I was ready. Let me just say that there. But I think being with the individual made me more ready. Let me say that. So knowing your heart that you're ready, because a lot of people will step out there and step into relationships and not knowing that they're ready. Like me, I was like, okay, look, I'm content with being single. Okay, all day, every day. I was content with being single, and I was content with getting free meals. I'm down for my free meals, baby. I'm eating everywhere, baby, with a date, honey. Go out and get your free meal. And if the Negroes say Dutch, you don't call them back. Okay. So once you get your free meal, it's gonna open up the door to see, hey, do I want to keep dating him or do I want to see more? And I think with you, babe, it was you was different. You know, you wasn't from zone three, you wasn't from the hood, you wasn't from my type of hood, the Georgia hood, you know. So I was like, okay, who is this guy talking all proper and all this stuff right here? I was like, he ain't my type, but you know what? At 40 something, you're willing to try some new stuff, okay? So I was happy to try some new stuff. I learned a lot of new words and it worked out for me. I loved it, you know. So now I feel like, hey, I'm dating an engineer. I sound so more better because I can do different words that he would pretty much say. And it opened me up to different things, just not so much being inside my box. I think a lot of women, we are looking at who we would date and be like, that's my style. But I think sometimes don't always go with being the comfortable saying this is my style. Try to come outside of your box because I think me and you totally come from two different worlds. So even though we come from two different worlds, once I opened up the box, I found out that we have more in common than we thought we didn't have in common. I think we're both quirky. I think we're both, we're silly to death. We love to do certain things together. It's just I found out we had so much in common versus if I didn't open up myself to new things, I would have never knew that.
Okay. Well spoke. Well spoken. I have to figure out how I'm going to respond to this myself because I wasn't expecting those responses, but that was pretty good. And yes, ladies and
Mm.
gentlemen, for all of you who don't know out there, yes, my guest today happens to be my fiance. So I was waiting for her to say that.
I
I was
was even
waiting for
that right now.
Yeah, I was waiting for her to say. I didn't want to say it,
You
but she did. Okay. So have you had instances where you were working on set and you had some very uncomfortable vibes?
know.
How do you control those vibes?
Oh my God, absolutely. Well, let me reframe that to you. How do you control your vibes? Because we know that I am pretty much good. I think with us being two actors, I'm very much good at separating the two, right? Because it doesn't matter with me who I'm doing sex things with, who I'm doing different things with. I know how to separate the two. Really, honestly, I do. So with that being said, I know how to separate my acting life from my going home life. So I think I need to ask that question towards you. How did you feel when I was the lead on Under His Control and you was the pastor and I had to marry Theron on set? How did you feel? Because I can tell people I seen what happened. Like you was fumbling words. I'm like, hold on, this man is a pro. Why is he doing all of this? So how did you feel? Because I can separate the two.
Okay, talk about the guest asking the host questions. Okay, all right. She's asking me questions on my own show, ladies and gentlemen, but I will
That's
answer it. I will answer it. At first, of course, with both actors, I was uncomfortable. I was uncomfortable because I've never been exposed to something like that before. Like, you see it done with other actors, with other people and stuff like that. So, and like, I'm not, that's remotely not going to happen to me. It was a little far fetched. It did happen. So I was initially uncomfortable, but I learned from it. I learned to be very I grew from it, I evolved, I became more mature. I had to become more mature with it. So now this like is from an old movie that says this is the business we've chosen. Yeah,
absolutely.
this is the business we've chosen. So, you know, This is the business we chosen, so you have to always expect things like this will happen. I could end up with someone one day on the set. Is she going to be comfortable with it, and vice versa? So I've actually grown into that realm of acceptance. That, you know what, this is the business that you've chosen. You can't trip on it, because at the end of the day, who is she or who is he coming home to? At the end of the
Absolutely.
day, okay.
Absolutely.
So does that answer your question? You get
That
one
answered my
perspective now.
questions, but you know me, I'm gonna let the audience know that you guys, he was sweating bullets, okay? Because we had to have a couple sex scenes, and he was like, I was like, babe, you're the pastor now. You know, you're the pastor now. You got to go ahead on and let them know that, you know, I'm still your wife, I'm still your fiance, you know, but you know, they're gonna have to see this baby thigh right now, you know, just hold your breath. But I think for me, honestly, I'm okay with it because it's like it doesn't intimidate me because I know who you're coming home to. So I mean, at the end of the day, I just tell people as long as you know how to separate the two, you can tone somebody down on set, you can do whatever you need to do, but when you get home, that is the real, you know, the movie set is fictional. You know, you're being somebody else wife, you're being somebody else love interest, but this is my love interest forever. So I think that is how I separate the two.
Okay. And also, to put a little to emphasis on that, to piggyback on that, it takes discipline as well.
Absolutely.
Self control.
Absolutely.
Actually, it's two things: self control and discipline. If you have those two, then it shouldn't be a problem. Again, it goes back to what I initially said. This is the business we've chosen, so you can't complain about that. And so I've grown, I've evolved, and I'm now at that mature level. I say, you know what, babe, go for yours. You know where you're coming to,
Just
you
to
know
let
where home
you
is, you know where home is. So,
know, you know, just to let
um,
you know, got a new film, which is gonna have a lot of love scenes in it. So just kidding.
and that's fine. That's fine. Yep. So two reasons why we're here today. Now let's get into the meat and potatoes of this.
Okay.
How to nurture your relationship and how to protect it. So this is why we're here today, to talk about this so we can use our template that we have to help others. So which one
Absolutely.
would you like to go with first? To nurture or to protect?
I would say let's go with nurture.
Okay. So in your relationship now, your relationship you have now, what is it that you've learned on how to nurture? What is it that you've learned, and what is it that you're still learning on how to nurture? And how will you use that to? How would you use that to share with others who are struggling on how to nurture their relationships?
I would definitely say how I'm learning is communication. Communication is the key. I think so many couples get so off balance because they don't communicate. They're scared to tell their spouse what they're really into, what they feel, how they don't like something. And I think that was a big thing in our relationship when we first started off. A lot of people don't know we're like 7 years in. Let me say that again. 7 years in. We just nurture our relationship very well. So I think with me, it was just being open to everything, being an open book, just making sure that we're both mature adults that's coming into a relationship. We both already have families, right? We both have kids and things, and so coming in, I wanted to be very open. And then just between me and you, I wanted a relationship that nobody else had. I feel like in the room, if there's a million people in the room, I should only lock eyes with one person. And when that person knows that he's the only one or she's the only one, that's all that matters. Having a relationship that don't nobody understand but you two, and being able to be a team player. And I think a lot of people don't understand that. Being a team player is just saying, hey, baby, I have your back no matter what. It doesn't matter. And then holding that person accountable for when in they're wrong in that situation, and then also being able to apologize when you know that you're wrong. And even sometimes when you're not wrong or you feel like you're not wrong, just letting that person know that, hey, I could be or could not be wrong, even though I'm never wrong. Okay, I just thought I thought that out there. Y'all, I'm never wrong. But just in case if I am wrong, I just want to let him know I apologize, because you never want to go to bed, or you never want to walk away from that person in a up and down situation. You want to make sure that you nurture that relationship and let that person know, look at here, I may not agree, or I agree to disagree. And then you can explain to them why you're disagreeing. Or you may say, look, hey, I may not see it the way you see it, but I understand the situation. And I think that was one thing between me and you, because you grew up totally a different way from me. I grew up the street way, and I'm used to cons, and I'm used to different things, and a lot of things I feel like you wasn't. I'm like, baby, that ain't right. So you was like, well, baby, I don't look at it like that. I'm like, well, that's what it is. I'm telling you, that's what it is. So I just want you to see. And it comes back to the point of communication and just making sure that you guys are on one page, you know, one band, one sound, one page. And just knowing also too that the man is the head, but the women, we're the neck. He can't move his head without his neck. But make sure you let him know that he's in control, and that this is a team effort. I got your back no matter what. So just learning how to nurture that part of your relationship, because it starts off with communication before anything, before finances, before family. You have to be on the same page before anything else happen in your relationship. That's just me and what I've experienced.
And that's what has worked for you.
Absolutely.
7 years in, like you said. That's that.
Seven
So
years
far.
in, 7 years in.
Okay. Now let me add to that. I'm not going to say counter, but let me add to that. And she's right, ladies and gentlemen. She's right. That's my wife to be, fiance. She's right. We came from two different worlds, and our worlds just happened to collide. But it collided very beautifully. It beautifully collided. She was looking, trying to figure me out, like he's just different from others. He's not the typical guy I'm used to. And I'm like, she's not, I'm saying to myself, man, this chick is way over my league. She's not even in my league. She's not even in my league. I'm just this nerdy engineer, actor and engineer, this nerdy engineer just trying to make something happen for myself and for my family across the way. And she shows up in my life, and she ladies and gentlemen, she exemplifies everything I've wanted in a relationship. And God just had a sense of humor and gave me extra. So, so which I embrace. I embrace. I can't be mad at the Lord. The Lord gave me what I asked for, and then some. But one thing that I have learned, like she had said, ladies and gentlemen, is communication. In my previous lives, I didn't have that luxury of communication, and I didn't value the importance of communication. Like she said, one accord, one sound, one accord, and that's critical. That's critical because once you're able to achieve that with your spouse or girlfriend or whoever you're with, once you're able to achieve that, it makes everything else in every other factor or every other facet of your relationship, it makes it easier. The communication is at the top. If the communication is good at the top, when you talk about finances, it's going to be easier. When you talk about relationships with your children, it's going to be easier. When it talks about dealing with your parents, it's going to be easier. When you talk about dealing with your friends, communication is going to be easier. So, communication is pretty much the bedrock of every relationship. Because once you have that, everything else will be easy. And of course, one thing I also learned is don't keep anything from your spouse or your friend or your in a relationship. Don't keep from your spouse or girlfriend or boyfriend. Don't keep it. I'm guilty, ladies and gentlemen. I've shared my challenges and my weaknesses on the show. One of my weaknesses was I just kept stuff to myself. I just was not used to saying anything. But over the past 7 years, it's been a struggle. No relationship is perfect. Like we said, we ain't the Cosbys. So no relationship is perfect, but she has taught me how to come out of that. She has flaws too. She has flaws too. I have flaws as well. And where one is weak, the other one has to be strong. When one is strong, if the other one is weak, then the other one has to be strong. So just to add on to what my beautiful fiance has said, it's important to have communication with your spouse. It is critical. No matter how ugly the conversation is going to be, no matter how disgusting it's going to sound, no matter how ridiculous it is, or what she did or what you did, you have to have that talk. I just mentioned this to her actually a couple of weeks ago. We had a very tough conversation a couple of weeks ago, and I was at fault. I was at fault, and it kind of felt good to take accountability for my faults. If you're going to take accountability for doing the right thing, you have to take accountability for doing the wrong thing. If you messed up, take full accountability for it. Say, you know what? This is on me, babe. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm sorry. And move on. And vice versa for her as well.
Absolutely.
I try hard. I try hard. I really try hard to do right by this lady. I try hard, but we ain't perfect. So, but I'm glad that she's here, and that she can share some of the knowledge of how we've survived 8 years. And there have been times where she's wanted to walk away. There have been times I wanted, like, you know what? I can't do this. I'm getting too old. I can't do this. But you know what? We had it for each other that we are going to stand by each other and remain loyal. And that's
Absolutely.
one of the things I love about my fiance is she's loyal. I'm loyal and she's loyal. So, um, and of course, one thing that I asked God, I think 3 or 4 years ago, there were some rough patches we were going through. I asked God, I said, okay, God, I don't want to leave this lady. Apparently, she doesn't want to leave me. Evidently, she doesn't want to leave me. But I asked God to please nurture our relationship and let the chips fall where they may after that. That was the only thing I asked for from God. So please nurture this for me. Please nurture this for me, nurture this for her. And I kept that key word, nurturing. That's the reason why I came up with this topic today. Nurturing. Nurture your relationship. You have to work at it every single day. And if you're married, if you're engaged, because things change every day. You wake up in the morning, you have no idea what's about to go down.
Absolutely.
That's
And let me
why.
say, and
Mhm.
let me say one thing too, Toby. I hate to cut you off. Also, once your spouse open up to what they're sharing, you can't, and I had to learn that you can't tell a person, okay, tell me, share with me, and then once they share with you, you start judging them. You have to let them share with you and then don't judge them. So it's like if I tell him, hey, look, I like to have kinky sex or something like that. Just not let's throwing it out there. Just don't judge me for that. Listen to what I'm saying. So I say that to say, like, if he's going to tell me something that he was holding inside, I'm not going to say, oh, I'm going to listen to everything he has to say and then I'm going to give him my feedback. And then also nurturing the relationship, you got to keep God first. I don't care what you do. There's been so many times that I had to go and seek God and pray. And there was a lot of times, I'm being honest with you, and this is just being a woman, being a mother. Um, being the matriarch of my family, I had to say, God, look, if this man is not for me, I want you to move. But he's still here. So I'm taking it that God didn't hear me, because when I told him, I said, God, it was some friends in my life that if they're not really here for me, remove them. They gone. Okay. So I feel like God has them here for a reason. But I tell people all the time, you got to keep God first in your relationship. There's so many times I'm gonna always go down on my knees and I'm gonna pray for him. I'm gonna pray for his strength. It take a lot of strength to deal with a person like me. I'm just being honest with you. So I tell God to pray for his strength, that he would endure for me forever. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're getting into a situation, you don't get married or you don't get engaged or you don't get in a relationship just to get out of it. You get in there so you can work on it. And it's not going to be easy. You know what I'm saying? It's like if everything is perfect, you don't need God. You don't need nobody, because it's a perfect situation. So it's not going to be perfect. It's two imperfect people, but perfect for each other. And I feel like Toby and I was perfect for each other because we're both imperfect people. You get what I'm saying? The only person that is perfect is God. So at the end of the day, I say, God, I want somebody who's perfect for me. You know what I'm saying? So you have to find that one person that is perfect for you. But I tell people always, you have to keep God first in your relationship, because that thing is going to be rocky. And I'm being honest with you. When me and Toby first started off, it was peeling the onion. I'm gonna say that one more time, ladies. It was like pulling the onion. And sometimes you'll peel that hard part of that skin and you still like, okay, it's still another layer. And then you get past that layer, you're like, it's still another layer. And get past it. And you see where I'm going. You're like, God, when am I gonna get to the core of this thing? So as you keep going and you're nurturing and you're finding out that person is worth the time. Let me say that again. The person is worth the time. You get what I'm saying? And you know that person love you for you, then that is what you want to nurture. You want to keep it going. And I tell people all the time, I feel like my fiance was perfect for me because we have the same heart. We have a heart of gold and we're always giving. We're always giving and doing for others, even when we're not happy in the situation or we're not receiving anything in the situation. So when I seen, I was like, wow, you're like the same me, but the male version. I was like, it made me feel way more over in love, head over heels in love with him even more because I think he was like me. He was a giver, you know. And it made me like, okay, this is something I want to see grow. And when you want to see it grow, that's the difference. That's when you know that you've matured on a level. That's the part when you know, even when you can admit your faults, admit your wrongdoing, that you know that you've matured on a level and you're nurturing your relationship. You're really saying, hey, this is something that I want from me and I want to see where this is going. So
Okay. Um, in response to that, yes, I was an onion. I'll take full ownership and accountability for that. Okay. I'll take full ownership for that. And because there's been so much in my life that I've been through, been so much in my life I've been through. When you expect things to work a certain way and it's not working the way you thought it was going to work when you were married to that individual, and you're not getting the same love and respect and appreciation from that person, then you're forced to hold back. And that was something I did for so many years. Guys, like I said, y'all know some of my business out here on this show. I'm not ashamed. Um, from mental challenges, mental health issues that I had before, but now I thank God I've worked my way out of it. And part of the reasons for those mental issues because of things that have happened in my past. Yeah, so I take ownership for being an onion. But it took a long time, and my fiance never gave up on me. She never did. Not one minute she gave up on me. Do I get her mad where I don't talk to her for a couple of days? Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. And does it kill me that I'm not talk that I don't when I don't talk to her? Yes. It bothers her too, because there's not a day that goes by. She doesn't hear from me in
Or they
2 hours,
just keep.
ladies and gentlemen. I am in serious trouble. If I don't text her within 2 hours of speaking to each other, if I don't text her or call her, oh, there's a price to pay. Oh, that's a
oh,
serious price to pay.
absolutely, because
So
I hate to speak.
yeah, 2 hours. If I don't hear from her, if she don't hear from me in 2 hours, or she goes out and I don't check in, oh, ladies and gentlemen, I am in serious trouble. Serious trouble. So now I'm making an effort to make sure that when she's out and about or she's somewhere, or just send her a text or a call just to make sure she's good. I'm not ashamed, ladies and gentlemen. We got GPS on each other.
We do.
I got nothing to hide. I got nothing to hide. And part of having trust and communication in your relationship is giving up that phone. Don't hide nothing on your phone. I can leave my phone with my wife, yes, wife for 2, 3 hours, and I'm good because I got nothing in there. I got nothing to hide. My mother-in-law even picks with me sometimes because I made a comment to her. I told her, Mama, I'm 51, 52 years old. I'm too old to be chasing tail. Look, man, it is what it is. And my mother-in-law laughed so hard. Mama Carolyn, I love you if you watch it. Man, she laughed at me. I said, Mom, I'm too old. I got so much, me and money, we got so much stuff that we're planning that we want to do for each other, that we want to do for each other that's going to impact the family, the family across the water and the family over here. We have so much at stake. We don't have time for who's she with or who's he with or with this and that. I don't have time for that anymore because
Absolutely,
tomorrow is not promised to anyone.
it's not.
There are
And I
people
tell
who
people
leave.
all the time, yeah,
Go
I
ahead.
just time when you find someone who you can make magic with, make magic. I was talking to Fantasia's husband, and he said, if I had a chance to spend my life with anybody, And it was the one person on the earth who I could spend my last moment with. He said I would spend it with my wife, Fantasia. And I was like, dude, I salute you because, you know, and I had to think about that. That's when I knew that I was ready to take that step. I said, God, if I had one last time to spend my last time on earth with one person that I love, I would spend it with this man right here. Laying on the floor, in a sub sandwich and wings and watching Spartacus. Okay, yes, we are some Spartacus fans. Okay, so I had to tell people, you have to find that one thing about that person that you love and just take it and run with it. And there was so many things that I did love about him, and there was a lot of things I did like about him. But like I said, nobody's perfect. You have to work on it and say, hey, babe, that don't work for me, this don't work for me, and I think like he was very shy. I'm very bold and in color.
You
Um and,
think?
and and yes, and it was just like it was like a tug of war. And I was like, look here, this is what I like. I'm gonna need for you to tell me what's going on. And he's like, no. I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna need you to tell me what's going on. So I think that, when you're dating different people, it brings out certain things in you. And I feel like now, like I used to be the tiger, he used to be the humble person. Now I think he's the tiger. I think it like the roles don't reverse, but we found something in each other that we really loved and we went for it, and that's what most people need to do. Just make sure that's how you nurture your relationship. And what
Mhm.
worked for one person may not work for everybody. Just find out what works for you and your
Correct.
spouse, your person, because what worked for me and Tobie may not work for you guys, but we're hoping today that since we are opening it up a little bit about our relationship, because a lot of people never knew that we was dating, and that's the
Yeah.
thing. I
True.
was so particular about not so much keeping it a secret, but I was nurturing the situation because from what I was doing out in the industry, he was doing, and then I was getting free red bottoms, honey. I was like, look here, I'm getting free red bottoms, honey. I don't know about that. He was like, baby, I don't want them around. I'm gonna buy them red bottoms. Y'all know I hold them to it, right? So I got my first pair of red bottoms. All right. So, we nurtured that thing for 7 years. And what worked for me and him, it may not work for y'all, but you guys can take something out of what we're saying today that will really nurture your relationship. And like I said, we found out one thing: communication was the key, and really protecting that person, even when they're not around. And I know
Yeah,
that's
it's
the
like
next
that.
thing we're going for is protect.
And you know what? That is perfect. See, this is why the synchronization is going pretty well. It's a segue now to protecting. Protection is a big thing for me. I think you know that. Protecting is
Mhm.
a big thing for me. My father, God rest his soul, it'll be 5 days from now, it'll be 9 years. But I miss my father, and my father taught me. He taught me and my brothers one thing that you do. My father wasn't a perfect man. He had his own transgressions as well, like we all do. But my father taught me one thing: you can do whatever you want to do. Whatever you do, do it. But one thing you must not avoid not doing is to protect and defend your family. That goes for the wife and the kids. So I have more respect for men who take care of their families, who protect their wives and protect their children. Okay? That is your job. That is the one job that God gives you as a man, is to take care of your family by any means necessary. So
Absolutely.
I'm going to defer that to you. What is it? What advice can you give to everyone out there, especially men, because this is what this show's about, mind of a man.
Yes.
Try to go into the minds of the men out there today who are watching this show. Go into their minds and try to feed them the words of wisdom that you would give for them on how to protect their family, protect themselves, because if they can protect themselves, they can protect their
Mhm.
wives and their children. Hey, let's go further, extended family. How would you do that?
I would definitely say protect your family by all costs. And I think that you have been my guide to protecting a family. And I think because coming into this relationship, and I can definitely say Mama Sutton were very at odds and very much suspicious of this young man coming in taking pretty much her family, because it's been me, a lot of people know it's been me, my mom, and my three daughters for the longest. And so this man now is coming in. And I feel like one thing about you, you fought no matter what. You get what I'm saying? To protect the family. But I always tell people too, if you're drowning, you need to protect yourself first and then protect the others. I'm gonna say
Right.
that again, 'cause I think people don't understand that if you're drowning,
Hmm.
protect yourself first and then protect others. That means that if you don't have a dollar, you can't afford to give anybody else a dollar because you have to preserve the dollar for yourself. If you're
Right.
swimming in a lake and if you know that you are catching a cramp, you need to make sure you're getting yourself to safety before you help anybody else. But with you, it showed me your strength of protecting the family, the in-laws, just making sure that everybody had. And it is not so much about finances, it's even about personalities. Even there's been times, and I can definitely honestly say that that even my mom was had her guards up, like, hey, and I was like, babe, just speak to her and be nice and smile, and still go on. But I think what it did was it wore her out because she knew you weren't going nowhere. That's the thing. She knew 7 years later, almost 8 years, 7-11, you're still here. So I feel like as a man, the man is the head. Like I said, once again, women, we are the neck, but it's let us know in the Bible, God said the man is the head, and he needs to protect his family at all costs. I give big props to this man because not only has he protect my family, he's protect my immediate family and even his family across the water. And when I say across the water, that means Nigeria, because he has one without. He has helped financially, mentally, spiritually, in so many different ways that I think everybody know now. They look up to you, they honor you, they respect you. Even my brother, when we first started in the relationship, I was like, oh my god. I was like, he liked flowers. It's like he's spending $89 on these flowers, and he could have gave me that. I could have bought a blouse. And my brother said, sis, as a woman, and I'm a man, don't ever tell a man not to give you flowers. He's giving you your flowers while you're alive. If he's giving you something that you didn't ask for, always take it with a smile. So I think that, that taught me on, again, nurturing the relationship and still looking at him protecting me, because even though, like, when he didn't give me that flower, I was like, oh, he didn't give me no flower today, I'm feeling some type of way, I want that flower now. But I feel like as a man need to always protect their families. There was a situation, and I can say it without saying it. We was in a bind, and he was like, "Baby, I had to go and get us up out that bind. I needed some extra cash because I know that we had this to do, and this to do." I was like, "Babe, you went and did that, and you went and got money, and my pride was kicking in." He was like, "I don't care nothing about your pride. Our family needed it, and this is what we needed to survive." And I did, and I had to look at the situation and say, well, you know what? As a man, he did what he was supposed to do. He lowered his pride, and I think that's one thing that men have to do sometimes, and women. We have to lower our pride because our pride is so big that you'll be sitting here all alone just because of pride. You'll be sitting here thinking that a person's supposed to do what they ain't supposed to do just because of pride. I ain't gonna tell him that. I ain't gonna make him feel like he the man. Cause honey, I'm like, baby, you got it. You got it, baby. Now can I get that? Can I get that shirt? Baby, you got it. You got Let him know that he's the man, women, and let him know that, it's okay to lead. And I was like, I didn't get the situation, but I was like, okay. I said, baby, you did what you have to do, not so much for me, but for the family.
And
And
usually the
and that's the
higher
thing men have to do. Lower your pride and do what is necessary for the family to survive. And I think that, once you get that and you got it, you're gonna be like, okay, that woman is one, she's gonna respect you on a whole nother level. On a whole nother, and I think I respected him because it let me know that, hey, when times get rough and tough, that he would do what is necessary to protect the family. And that was the great thing that, I didn't see it at first because I was like, honey, Don't be letting nobody think that we need them. We ain't got nothing this year. And I was saying to myself, no, it wasn't that. See, that was the pride. And I was like, no, he needed to do what he needed to do to protect the family. And once he did it, I was like, wow, I see what that is. And it gave me way more respect for him to say, hey, this is a man who knows how to take care of me, the family, and the whole thing all in general. And you have to know how to balance it, balance both worlds. And
Which
that's
leads to a question. Go ahead.
the
Go ahead.
thing that I like about Tobie. He knows how to balance both worlds. Okay.
Thank you. Question for you. What advice, now, since this show is mostly about men and how we do things in certain facets of life, what advice would you give to women who have been running stuff their whole lives? There was no man there to help them. And I think you know where I'm going with this question.
Yes,
What
I do.
advice would you give to women who are running stuff and now they run into someone, but there's a challenge there? What advice would you give them?
Oh, well, ladies and gentlemen, I think my
You
fiance
didn't see that coming, did you?
didn't see this one coming, but I knew he is saying that because it's talking about me. Once again, we gotta admit our faults, and that is my weakness. I have an issue with letting go and letting him bleed. I know I'm preaching it, right? So you got to preach to the choir, right? So
Ladies and
that's me.
gentlemen, my fiance is an alpha female, and I
I'm an
wouldn't trade it for the world. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I love it. That's less for me to worry about. Go ahead, honey.
yes.
Continue.
And it's hard. We actually just had this conversation while I was at the nail shop today. I was like, look here, I'm just gonna tell you straight up before we get married and say I do. Everybody knows 7/23/23. I was like, it's hard for me to let go of being independent because I'm so used to doing everything. I'm used to being the husband, the wife, the woman, the man. I'm used to fixing my car, changing my tires, and cutting the grass. Okay. So that is something that is hard for me. And one of the issues that we had was yesterday. Yeah, women, y'all know how you be trying to sneak. And I was trying to sneak and buy something. Akira, look. I love Akira, you guys. That's my biggest store. Big shouts out to them. They need to make me an ambassador, okay? Much as I don't spend. But he came back in and he was like, did you just spend something on the account? And I was saying to myself, yeah, I did. And he was like, and I was saying to myself, mm, he just came back in here to let me know I just used some of his money up in that account. And I'm like, that was just a little $127. But there was the fact that I was like, so you know what? So let me just tell y'all people, right? The pride kicked in. And you know me, I was a thinker and I was like, wow, I'm on my way to that store. I said, I'm going to cash out him back that $127 because I don't even need his money, right? I need that $127 now, baby. I'm a little short. But
See, ladies and gentlemen,
it,
continue.
it is a challenge for me to let go and to allow him to just do it. And I think for me, it's asking. I never had to ask for anything. I've always hustled. I've always just had a job all my life. And, it was just different things, I've always done. And to now having to say, well, let me ask, let me be able to ask permission to sometimes spend my own money is a problem. Because I'm like, I work for that money. It's not.
Should we tell should we tell the world my thought process of why I did
Okay.
that?
So his thought process was we got hacked last week and a lot of money came out the account. Okay, so it was him. His scars, his thing. He was like, "Baby, I thought I was being hacked," and I'm just saying. And I'm to my defense, I'm like, I got about 50 Akira bags in my room. You seen Akira, you knew it was me, right? So I was like, so guess what? We went a couple hours. Guess what? Not speaking. And I was like, I ain't gonna call him because he knew it was me. He knew it was me. You see that? Once again, you guys, that's the pride, right? So I went on, got my nails done. I said, come on now, let's go and address the elephant in the room. And the elephant in the room is I have a problem with letting down my guards, women, to say I'm going to allow him to be the overseer, because you have to know your strength and your weakness. Like I told him, he is the better saver. I'm the better spender, right? Um, but it's also, me letting go and letting him control, because I've been divorced for over 12 years. So now having a man to come back in the house and having to say, can I? I'll say that one more time. Can I? Is it okay? Will you allow me? No. That is a lot for me. I'll just be honest with you. So you have to know your weakness. And that is my weakness, people. I am dealing with it. And I'm praying to God every day that He will touch my heart. But I just like to steal it out the account and put it back in there when he don't know it. Women, y'all know how many we wait till they go to bed. We wait till they go to we wait till they go to the store, and then we go and get it out the trunk and put it in the closet as if it's already like,
Okay.
where you get that new shoes at? I'm like, baby, it's already been here, baby. You didn't see that a few minutes ago. So that's my weakness. And I know
Well,
Carl is
yeah.
over, because Carl know me and his wife. Big shouts out to my big sister Katrina. We both have that problem. We have look.
Oh, he just said don't get him started.
Welcome.
What makes me happy is retail therapy. Like I told him yesterday, I was in a funk and I said, I'm frustrated and I'm going to the mall. And when I went to the mall to Akira, I felt so much better when I got back home, right? I did. I felt
Okay,
free.
real
So,
quick, what
yeah,
advice, what would you tell women like you out there what to do?
don't
Because
be
I
like,
have a question, I have a dialogue after that. But go ahead. What would you give them?
I would just tell them to keep praying through the situation. On the serious note, it is hard for me to let go because I have been in control for so long. I have been the mother and the father, even of my daughters, growing up in the house. I just had 3 girls to graduate. This has been really, really hard on me. So with Tobie coming in, he's my backbone, my safety net, but he wants to totally be my lifeguard. And I'm learning now to allow him to be the lifeguard, because if he's your protector, he won't let you drown. You get what I'm saying? So I am learning how to say, okay, you cannot do everything on your own. You want to, but it would tear you down. So
Yeah.
it's a struggle for me, but I would tell women to try to lower your guards and really try to let him be your lifeguard. Because if he's truly a man that will protect you at all costs, he won't let you drown. That would be my opinion.
Okay. Um, how can I articulate this? I am very grateful for this lady right here, ladies and gentlemen. I still have flaws. Lord knows she's helping me through it. I'm helping her through hers. But the most important thing that she said out of everything that has told the world of mind of a man, she said she was mad. She had retail therapy. She came back the next day. She went to get her nails done, and she called me, and we talked it through. Ladies and gentlemen, that is what? Communication.
Communication.
You can't communicate when you're both at odds with each other or you disagree about something. Nothing, everything that goes in, it comes out on the other side of the ear. But this is how we work in our relationship. We breathe, we go for walks, we don't yell at each other anymore. We don't yell or this and that anymore. We take a breather, you come back and say, you know what? Let's talk about the elephant in the room. She initiated that today. It doesn't matter who initiates it, but today she initiated it, took the initiation. And I was going to do it anyway, but she beat me to it. It's called communication,
Absolutely.
which a lot of people, and then for my men out there, yes, those men, the men, they protect their family. That's what we do. The good men out there protect their family. And I'm surrounded by My circle is extremely small, and I'm surrounded by men who protect their families. So we learn off each other. And I did my behavior was because I'm a forecaster. I'm looking ahead. I'm looking ahead, like, okay, what if something happens? Do we have the money to pay for it instead of robbing Peter to pay Paul or whatever? Do we have the funds to to take care of family across the water or our parents, our aging parents, or what have you? That's what I look out for. That's part of protecting the family. And of
Absolutely.
course, like I told her today, I love to spoil my fiance. I love to spoil my wife. I love to spoil her. Let me do it. Stop. If you want to be Superwoman or want to be Iron Woman or whatever, why am I here? Why am I here? If you want to keep on doing, you have raised not one, not two, but three beautiful girls through high school and one through college. Okay. You have lived, like you said, how many sentences? Three life
Three
sentences.
minutes.
And you pulled it off. Now it's time for you to enjoy life and relax. That's why I'm here. Now we can plan for our future, for ourselves, our legacy, and our families. But I'm going to put this out here because we're about to wrap up. Would you like at some point this summer come back to even teach us more about relationships?
Oh, absolutely.
At
I
some
would
point
definitely
this summer. Okay.
I would definitely love to because I think relationships, a lot of relationships are failing. I think people are seeing that right now. Relationships are failing, even in celebrity lives, even in big name people are getting divorced. And I told Toby when we first got engaged, I said, I hope you know what you're doing because I am not getting married for a show. I'm not getting married because of money. I'm getting married because of love. I'm always marry somebody because of love. And I'm marrying somebody for one thing, for forever. And what I mean for forever, I mean when my heartbeat stops, then that's the last time I'm gonna love you. And I'm gonna still try to love you, how to say, to infinity and beyond. But I used to always send Toby so many pictures of love of couples that was 70 and 80 years old. I don't know if you remember that, babe. And the husband would pass, and like a day or a couple hours later, the wife would pass. I said, baby, this would be us. I said, because that's the kind of love that I'm truly looking for. I'm looking for forever. And some people are looking for the now. And, I want people to know and to learn that the situation is not easy. We may make that thing look good, but it's not easy. I want to let you guys know, even when we first met back in like 2013, I was really suffering with ovarian cancer, and he got to see the good, the bad, and the ugly. No makeup on, no hair on, no none of that. He got to really know who I was, and I took all the glam off, even though there ain't no glam on today, y'all. Y'all see, I had just woke up. Ain't no glam on today. I just slept on the head and a blazer. We're just gonna make that thing work. So you have to find someone who's gonna love you past everything that they see, because these days people are marrying people for what they see, or they're marrying them for what they got. They're not marrying them for who they are and totally
Mhm.
for their hearts. So I would absolutely love to come back and definitely speak more about it, because your template or your struggles can be somebody else's blessing. And
Mhm.
I hope today that on this show that you guys will see that we are regular people. We are very much you know still learning this thing as we go. The key thing, if you guys didn't hear it, nothing else, is we never gave up on each other. We never gave up on each other. We never want to walk away. And that's the thing. When you feel like you can walk away from that person, I'm gonna say this so you guys can hear this. That means
Mhm.
you never truly love that person. If you can walk away, because
Yeah.
I told him when I first met him, I said I can date any kind of ball player,
Mm.
drug dealer, all to have all the money in the world. But at the end of the day, all that stuff fades. It fades. And once you get done with it, it only comes down to two things. Do y'all love each other? Can y'all stand the test of time? And can you guys make it through when everything is felt? Because we've been in the point where it was no jobs, no money, no house, no
Mhm.
cars, everything is gone. So, once you went through all of that stuff right there and y'all are still there and you're still standing, you're saying, baby, your breath stink, but I still love you, baby. Baby, I don't smell too fresh and I still love you. And he's seen me through my worstest time and I'm doing chemo and I'm cancer free now, y'all. But I was sick as a dog. That's when it's worth preserving. The relationship is worth going through and really, standing the test of time. So I would love to come back, Tobie, just to talk more about relationships and talk more
Thank you.
about deserving
Thank
your
you.
love.
Now let our producers know. Like Michelle Obama said, people quit give up too early. That's the problem.
Yeah,
They give up too early. Michelle Obama called it. She didn't like her husband for 10 years, but
absolutely.
she didn't walk away. So, but I'm
I didn't
looking
like
forward to having you. Yep, yep, yep. So can you tell the world where they could find you?
Absolutely, guys. You guys can follow me on IG, which is my biggest platform, which is the real Money Sutton. That's TheRealMonei. Drop that Y, add that I. Sutton SUTTON underscore. That is on IG. On Facebook, I believe it's Money Sutton. Definitely go and follow me there. Or you guys can follow me on www.therealmoneysutton. Okay. Also, guys, you guys follow me on TikTok. You'll see a lot of videos that me and Tobie is doing on
And we're
TikTok
gonna
that
do
we
more.
and we're gonna do more. And that's again the real Money Sutton underscore, and that's on TikTok. So also.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for today. Thank you for listening in today and watching today, the show today. Very grateful for you attending. Hopefully, advice and our experiences that we've been through will be a template to helping other couples out there.
Worship.
And plus, if you have any questions, please inbox us on our Facebook Messenger. If you have any questions or thoughts about the show today, and we're hoping James will be back next week. And everyone, hug someone today. Hug someone, check on someone today. If you haven't, check on them, hug them, tell them that you love them. Because, like I said, I always say in the show, tomorrow's not promised to anybody. Hug someone, love someone, let them know that you care. So, everyone, enjoy the rest of your Wednesday evening.
Had to be gone.
Enjoy the rest of the week, and we will see you on another episode next Wednesday at 6 o'clock. Have a good evening, everyone.
We
Bye.
have
Bye.